Everyone's talking about the $2 trillion question. What will AI actually automate? I've negotiated $100 million technology decisions. The hype and the math are rarely the same thing. Here's what most people miss. Automation isn't decided by what's technically possible. It's decided by one hidden variable nobody's measuring. And that variable explains why half the predictions you're hearing are about to be spectacularly wrong. February 2024. An airline standing in front of a tribunal defending itself against its own chatbot. Not a security breach, not a vendor dispute. They had to argue, in a legal proceeding, whether a chatbot could be sued as a separate legal entity. That's not a technology question, that's an accountability question nobody designed for. The answer was no. Emphatically no. The chatbot hallucinated a bereavement discount that didn't exist. A grieving customer relied on it, and the airline, with an impressively straight face, blamed the bot. They argued the software was responsible for its own words. The tribunal disagreed. The airline lost. The bot hallucinated. No human checked the output. The company paid the price. That's the pattern. The machine invents, the human vanishes, the organization owns it anyway. This isn't an isolated case. A New York City government bot told employers how to steal workers' tips. Legal advice. Completely illegal. A car dealership chatbot got tricked into selling a $76,000 truck for $1 in writing. But contrast those very public disasters with the AI deployments that quietly work every day. Coding assistance, back-end claims processing, fraud detection. One glaring difference. The successful ones have cheap automatic verification before the output matters. The disasters don't. I call it verifiability. Can you check the output cheaply before it matters? That one condition separates deployments that scale from lawsuits waiting to happen. A cheap check does two things. It trains the model through millions of iterations, and it gives the business actual confidence to deploy without a legal team on standby. Coding assistance work because the code either compiles or it doesn't. Claims processing works because the math reconciles or it doesn't. Customer-facing chatbots with no verification. That's a tribunal waiting to happen. There's a concept from computer science that explains the whole thing. P versus NP. What's easy to generate versus what's easy to verify. A Sudoku puzzle might take you 20 minutes of hard thinking to solve, but checking if the answer is right? 2 seconds. It either follows the rules or it doesn't. Now try that with a corporate strategy document. An LLM can draft a 5-year plan in 30 seconds. Sounds plausible, looks impressive, uses all the right words. Checking if it's actually good? That takes a seasoned executive, 3 rounds of debate, and 5 years of reality. AI researcher Jason Wei gave this pattern a name: Verifier's Law. If you can't check the output cheaply, the AI can't learn from it, and your business definitely can't trust it. Traditional software worked through step-by-step instructions. AI works backward from verification. The question isn't what will AI automate, it's what work can be cheaply checked. Let's walk through the actual arithmetic. 100-person operations department, how many jobs actually disappear? You have to deduct the uncheckable judgment calls first. That drops 100 units of work down to 60 loopable units. Then the data systems are a mess. Most companies can't support automated verification at scale. Now you're at 39. Add in complex exceptions that still need a human, down to 30. Then you need the governance layer. Someone has to write policies, audit the loops, own the outcome when it halts. Net it all out. 100 units of work shrinks to 28 actually displaced units. That gap between theoretical coverage and actual displacement, that's where almost every AI forecast dies. You can see this inside a single hospital. Back office billing, 56% loopable. Ledgers balance, or they don't. The rules are clear. Revenue cycle teams are already shrinking. Clinical care, 8% loopable. Half the payroll, almost untouched. Because you can't undo a surgery to check if the AI got it right. There's no cheap verification before irreversible harm. Same building, same AI capability. Completely opposite worlds of automation. The difference isn't the technology. It's whether mistakes can be caught before they matter. Now blend all of that across a real enterprise. Front office, back office, physical labor, verifiable loops. The business doesn't run on half the staff. It runs at roughly 19% lower cost. That's a massive efficiency gain across the global economy. But it's fundamentally different from the apocalyptic job, wipe out the hype cycle, keeps trying to sell you. The forecast that gets headlines and the forecast that actually lands are not the same document. The spending tells the story nobody wants to hear. $600 billion going into generative AI capacity in 2025, mostly servers and chips. The actual verified value being captured right now, between 50 and 140 billion. We are currently spending 4 to 5 times more building the machine than we're extracting from it. That's not a scaling curve. That's a bet with no expiration date. Don't mistake that gap for a bubble about to burst. Organizations need time to clean up their data, codify their rules, and build systems that can actually run verified loops at scale. The financial disparity isn't failure, it's a cue. Companies are buying the hardware now because lead times are real. Building the workflows that can safely close the loop, that's the part that takes years. The spending looks irrational until you realize they're not buying for today. They're buying capacity for workflows that don't exist yet. If we track how fast organizations actually adapt, not the headlines, the budgets, we see a steady, grounded climb. We start at $50 to $140 billion today. That grows to $120 to $240 billion by 2028. By 2035, we reach an enormous but highly realistic $1 to $2 trillion a year in realized value. It's not AI does half of all work overnight. It's a fraction of addressable wages being captured after every honest deduction for verifiability. But don't assume the 20% of uncheckable work just stays safe forever. That wall is moving. What we call human judgment usually breaks down into 5 eroding barriers. Maybe there are no sensors yet. Nobody's recording the true outcome. Maybe checking costs too much right now. Or the rules are unwritten, hiding inside an expert's head, pretending to be intuition. Sometimes feedback takes years, and in rare cases, verification is genuinely impossible. But most of what looks uncheckable today, it's just expensive or slow. Give it 5 years. Take medicine, supposedly the least verifiable field of all. We already have closed-loop insulin delivery systems in production today, autonomous dosing decisions, high stakes, fully approved by regulators. So how did that cross the verifiability wall? Not because the AI got exponentially smarter overnight. It was the continuous glucose sensor. That physical monitor made the outcome instantly observable, catching errors way before harm could accumulate. The AI didn't change. The feedback loop did. That's the actual law hiding underneath all the disruption. The wall isn't a specific industry. It's a ratio. How fast you can observe an outcome versus how fast a mistake becomes permanent. A decision becomes automatable when verification latency drops below harm latency, when you can check faster than the damage sets in. Every new sensor attacks that ratio. Every newly written rubric makes verification cheaper. The wall doesn't hold, it erodes, and the erosion is accelerating. As sensors get cheaper and language models document what used to live only in someone's head, what actually survives? I call it the ROC, return on uncheckability. One-shot decisions with no rerun. You can't A/B test a merger. Long horizon bets that outlive the world's current state. Deeply personal values. Conversations, what's actually worth wanting. And the sheer necessity of independent human accountability. An AI can do the checking, but an audit signature has value precisely because an independent human puts their name on it. So here's the pivotal question for your career moat. Not, is my work human judgment, but why is your work hard to check today? And what's its half-life? How long until the glacier of verifiability reaches you? If your moat is an unwritten standard, assume someone's writing it down. If it's a missing sensor, assume it's coming. $2 trillion a year says that glacier is moving. So make sure you're building your skills on the ROC, not the wall. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. If you want to stay ahead of this curve, follow for more.